Hello and a warm welcome to the program. I'm Tenyola Shoboale. We begin today in Sudan, where protesters are continuing to demand that the Transitional Military Council running the country hands over to a civilian-led administration. This comes after the African Union called on Sudan's military to transfer power to a civilian-led political authority within 15 days or face suspension from the AU. Last Thursday, President Omar al-Bashir was overthrown by the military following months of protest. Protesters have remained on the streets day and night, demanding a return to civilian rule from the military council that replaced Omar al-Bashir. If their demands are not met, they vow to press on and not join a future transitional government.
No, we don't like amnesty here. We need a republic. Yeah, we need Republican government, you know. Until now, we are not going our house. We will stay here until we need to change our all needs.
The African Union on Monday also echoed the demonstrators' demands, calling the military intervention a coup d'etat, which it strongly condemns. The body, which has 55 member states, added that a military-led transition would be completely contrary to the aspiration of the people of Sudan. It has ordered the military to transfer power to a civilian-led political authority within 15 days or face suspension from the AU. Meanwhile, Ethiopia's Prime Minister has met members of the new military council, becoming the first foreign leader to do so. The military leaders urge Ethiopia to continue its long-standing support for Sudan, while Mr. Ahmed called on them to address the people of Sudan's grievances and concerns to ensure a peaceful transition. Now, the mayor of South Africa's commercial capital, Johannesburg, has been forced to abandon a meeting after protesters threw empty water bottles and paper towards him. Herman Mashaba says the thuggery of the governing African National Congress led to the disruption of the meeting, called to discuss his plans to improve living conditions in the city's poor Alexandra neighborhood. Alexandra, traditionally a stronghold of the ANC, has been hit by weeks of protest, with residents complaining of poor public services and the mushrooming of illegally built shacks. Mr. Mashaba is a member of the opposition Democratic Alliance, which ended ANC control of Johannesburg in the 2016 local government elections. Let's get more on this story now from our South Africa Bureau Chief, Betty Dibia. Thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
Betty, what more can you tell us about the scuffle that erupted at that meeting in Johannesburg with the Mayor Herman Mashaba?
Well, it was a fiasco, or a scuffle, as you say, that was expected. After 2 weeks of protests where they expected the mayor, they actually asked him to come and speak to them face to face. They had a memorandum of demands, a memorandum of concerns, some of the things you've already listed. And after the protest, they had a day at town hall expecting the mayor to be there at 10 a.m. After the day we went there to speak with them, and the mayor didn't show up. We were told by some of his officials that he had other things to do. Of course, this is election year, and it's not a thing, these are not some of, and he's been quite active on social media saying a lot of things, not very charitable too, towards the ANC and even towards some of the people of Alex. So that hasn't gone down well with the people. So we expected that. And I don't know who advises the mayor, but he actually chose a nighttime event to address the people. That's after the Premier of Gauteng, who happens to be ANC, and the President of the country, who happens to be ANC, already visited Alex, and they milked the situation. But it was his chance, which to actually do what he was expected to do. Well, you know, but he missed it, and then we had this situation.
Well, Mr. Mashaba has responded, like you mentioned, he's been on Twitter. But one of the main things that he has said is that he's blaming the whole scuffle on the thuggery of the governing African National Congress. How is the ANC responding to this?
course, the ANC has rubbished that, but the brickbats have been flying all along, all these weeks of the protests. But what people are saying is this: so what if the ANC, it's election year, so some say all is fair, almost all is fair in an election year. So what if the ANC is behind some of the instigation? But are there issues in Alex? Are there issues to be addressed? I still recall the mayor's inauguration speech in 2016 when that coalition government came into being and he became the mayor. Every single line, or almost every single line, had "my people in Alex lack this. My people in Alex." So I was really shocked personally that he has responded this way to the situation. If your enemies or your political opponents are using a situation against you, the best way is to politically also use it to your advantage. But I think the mayor actually failed in this. Of course, that's not. If I give the context again, the provincial government is ANC, but the municipal government, the mayor is DA. And both sides have failed the people. And let's see what happens during elections, how they're going to respond.
Which actually leads me to my next question. With all that's been happening in Alexandra, how is this likely to affect the upcoming elections on May 8th?
Well, now, the elections, May 8th, is national. Municipal elections, which affects the mayor directly, his position, is coming up in 2021. But what we have is national, so provincial and national. The president's position, the members of parliament from which the president will emerge, and the provincial. That's Premier David Makura's position too is up. So people are, I don't want to say there's apathy, but people are a little bit concerned. They don't know which way to actually, because everybody has an issue. The DA that's making so much noise about everything, you know, except their own situations, they have their own issues, the EFF. But what we're going to see during this election, from what I see, is that the hold of the majority will be reduced because there's some breakaways who may like edge away, you know, or eat away at their hold, which was huge. And a lot of disappointment, the corruption, and apart from Alex, there's so many other communities that are protesting at the moment.
Yeah.
The president today went to his home province, which is Limpopo, and he's saying stuff like, "Oh, I'm shocked there are people who are living without electricity and water in your country." So people are disappointed, but we'll see how May 8th
so much to see ahead of the elections. Well, Betty, thank you for your reporting and joining us on Network Africa today.